Pablo. We're here just after completing your Juntos Avanzamos event. I guess I know you've been working towards this for quite a while. What was the significance of today?
Well, for us, it's after years and years of working towards being a more inclusive organization, it was kind of a neat celebration to be certified and to get a designation that means you've met the standards of quality and inclusiveness that conveys. So that was exciting for us to have that designation.
Sure.
Yeah, and it's we do a lot of these evaluations of Canadians that are interested in serving the market. But with UW was like, wow, they have been doing it for a long time. So this is not new. It's just, it's kind of codifying and formalizing a whole approach that's come for the last 2 decades. I mean, so to me, the significance of today's event is, number one, recognize the work that has taken place in this clinic for such a long time, and the way that they have embraced it to bring it forward in this visible way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in your words, I guess when someone sees that designation, what does it mean about that credit union?
So it's what we are hoping it means is that it will help consumers understand where to go. Latino consumers, immigrants are very vulnerable in many ways. There are, banks and predatory lenders that prey on them. So part of the Juntos Avanzamos designation is to educate the Hispanic community that this is a safe place where they can come. Mm-hmm. That if you come to UW Credit Union, you're going to be able to open an account, even if you don't have a social security number. That you're going to be able to apply for a loan, even if you don't have a credit history. So that's really what we're trying to convey here.
Okay. Yeah, and going back 20 years, when the credit union starts to think about that kind of thing, what's the goal, or why? I mean, it might be an obvious question, but why pursue that inclusion?
Well, we started working on that 20 years ago, just noticing the changing demographics of our home city here and the growing Hispanic population. And for any organization that serves the public, you need to be relevant long-term by understanding the marketplace. So we just recognized that and started taking steps to make sure we were relevant and welcoming to the whole community. Mm-hmm. And that's led to many steps and product changes. And we then got acquainted with the folks at Juntos Avanzamos and Inclusiv, and we thought, hey, there's a benefit in getting certified in what we do, because even though we're very well known in the Madison area, as we grow to other parts of Wisconsin, we're not as well known, and it's helpful to convey something in terms of value and access through that designation.
Yeah. Yeah, you mentioned you have 40% of the Latino market in Madison?
Yeah, that's something we just discovered a couple of years ago through some market research. Yeah, about 1 in 5 people in general bank with us in our county, but after some research, we understood that it was actually 2 in 5 in the Hispanic community.
Wow.
And that's really important because, I think that there's kind of 2 pathways in our industry. One is, DEI, and we see that recognition of diversity, equity, and inclusion. And we see many clinics pursuing that. But the real impact of DEI is on the other side, on the racial equity side, is when you're making the loans, when you are really opening access. And I think that UW really, Credit Union represents that you have built that diversity internally that allows you to better serve the market, right? And empower the market. So it's an amazing case study, actually, that I would love to, get more clinics to understand that DEI is only half the way. DEI without the impact means nothing to the community.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. What are some of the barriers that traditionally Latinos have faced, and maybe the most relevant ones right now?
Well, I mean, there's the political aspects of being immigrant in this country nowadays. When I came to the U.S. in the 90s, it wasn't a big deal. But I think that the politics of immigration have kind of poisoned a little bit, what it means to be an immigrant. What we want to make sure, though, is that Canadians don't get into that, is that we are really focused on financial inclusion. We're focused on people, because that's where we can really help communities become safer. An example that I always talk about is that, when you have people who are unbanked, those people carry money. When they carry money, they're more prone to be, victims of robbery. When you have that, then it becomes an issue of crime. When you have crime, then it affects your property values. So there's a chain reaction. So if you get money out of the street, you get people to really bank with a responsible financial institution, you're helping not only that person, you're helping the community become safer, more secure, and also more prosperous.
Sure. And you have you invited a group from Ecuador here today, representatives of Credit Union. Is the Hispanic, Latino, financial community kind of gotten bigger and closer over the years?
So there's always been this bridge, this cross-border bridge, right? That we see, that we would love to formalize more.
Okay.
When you talk about Milwaukee is a good example, you have a huge Mexican community. They don't come from all over Mexico. They come from certain places in Mexico where you have cajas. Cajas, are similar to credit unions, but in Mexico. So we are hoping that one day we can build those bridges and help credit unions on both sides of the border better serve the communities, there and here.
So we just completed the UW Credit Union Juntos Avanzamos event.
Yes.
Why don't you just start by introducing yourself to your audience?
Yeah, my name is Natalie Mendez-Ponce. I've been with UW Credit Union for almost 8 years now, and I've held many roles, actually.
Okay.
But my most recent one is Consumer Lending Assistant Manager. So I oversee a team of bilingual underwriters that approve, decline, or counteroffer consumer loans.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And is that, since you've been here 8 years, was the Latino market always kind of part of what you were passionate about when you joined?
Yes.
Okay.
When I first joined about 8 years ago, I worked at Fitchburg, and that was one of the busiest Latino branches,
Okay.
Spanish-speaking branches at that time. And obviously, they've continued to grow. They opened Fish Hatchery Road, and that one's really big. But since then, I've always become really passionate about helping and advocating for the Latino community.
Great. Has that community grown or gotten more tight-knit since you've been around?
Yeah, it's grown quite a bit. It's amazing to see how almost every single branch has a bilingual representative, whether that's a teller or financial specialist. So we just want to make sure that whatever market that the Latinos are in, we're there to meet them where they're at.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So then today's a culmination of a lot of that work. I guess what's the significance to you of today's Juntos Avanzamos event?
Yeah, good question. It's a little emotional, I'll be honest with you, because when you get to a certain place in your life and you think that this is the best that it's going to get, and then it continues to get better, you get a little emotional and you have a sense of pride that you're here to represent not only yourself, but the community, and to advocate and fight for them and be the voice for them because they don't want to be.
Sure.
So it means a lot, and I'm very happy. I'm very excited. I almost cried when I did my speech because I was just like, you sit there and you reflect on the words that you're saying, and it hits you in the heart, and you're just like, what's next now, though?
Yeah.
There's always so much more work to do, and I'm really excited to see what this will do for us in the community and how we can continue to expand our resources.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have anything in mind specifically of what more to do, or just?
Yeah, good question. I'm hoping that we can continue to uplift specifically women of color in the organization to those positions where decisions are made. Because as I've grown in my management position, I see that they hear and see me, and you can be a leader without, a title, and it's hard to get decisions, heard and have them be made and implemented. So
Sure.
I'm hoping that we continue to grow our leadership to be more diverse, and then I'm hoping that we can continue to make changes.
Mm-hmm.
There's no specific changes at this time. I know that last year we implemented the I-10 mortgage lending, which was a huge success for UW Credit Union and Raíces Latinx, the ERG I co-founded. So we're just still kind of settling and celebrating that, but we are definitely planning for what's ahead.